Happy Sunday. Get ready for some more heat the rest of your weekend. Plus, for the new work week ahead, we will have extreme heat settling in. Our feels like temperatures could be around 110 to 115 degrees this week, especially as we head to the midweek time frame. So more scorching hot weather as we finish up the month of July. Now for your Sunday, we have some great weather to enjoy, but it will be hot. That's the main focus today. Lots of sunshine, trending mostly dry. There is a very small chance for a stray shower, but most of us will see nothing but sunshine and heat. I know yesterday we had a couple stray showers set up over the metro area. When we get these summertime showers in a drier pattern, it's hard to, of course, pinpoint exactly where they will set up. That's just the nature of summertime storms. And especially as we get into this area of high pressure that's been building overhead, it's trending mostly dry. It's just not a guarantee that all of us will be completely bone dry. But I think any showers that set up today will be very few and far between, but I can't say exactly where. That's just the nature of the summertime storms, especially as we get into a lake breeze setting up going into today, a sea breeze. We know all the summertime stuff. But I think most of us are going to see sunny skies and temperatures in the mid-90s this afternoon. Great day to hit the pool, grab a snowball, find a way to cool off. Our feels like temperatures, the heat index up to 107 this afternoon. Could be up to 110 on Monday and Tuesday, and maybe up to 115 by Wednesday as more humidity creeps back in across the Gulf Coast. Speaking of heat, there is an ongoing heat wave across the Midwest and the western U.S. Heat advisories, extreme heat warnings for multiple states, and heat advisories extend all the way into northern Louisiana and southwestern Mississippi. We don't have any heat advisories here at home just yet, but that could likely change in the coming days as those temperatures get progressively hotter. So we may have heat advisories or extreme heat warnings. We will see. And the main reason is because of this area of high pressure that's in the western part of the country that's going to be extending farther east in the coming days, really influencing our weather, keeping us hot and also mostly dry. That's why we really have much lower rain chances the next few days, is because of that area of high pressure. It really suppresses rain development. But you can't rule out a couple of those spotty little showers that set up, especially with the lake breeze and the sea breeze. Not much rain, though. That's really the thing. Not much to cool us off. But then we get some changes coming up later in the week. That high pressure pushes a little bit farther to the west by next Thursday, Friday, even into next weekend. So that will help bring us some relief from the heat. Not a huge change. I mean, we'll get closer to average for this time of the year, but still going to be warm, still going to be muggy. But as the high pressure backs away, that opens us up for a higher chance for a few storms across the Gulf Coast going into the late week time frame. So here's your high temperature forecast. We're going to be in the mid to upper 90s the next few days. Could get close to record temperatures. We probably won't break any records, but we could be maybe a degree or two shy of current records across the area. So we will see, but it's certainly going to be very hot. Then later in the week, as that high pressure backs away, our temperatures get closer to average this time of the year, which is 92 degrees. So yes, it will be hot later in the week, just not as brutal as it will be early in the week. And really the main reason why it's going to be feeling even hotter in the coming days is because we're going to have more moisture setting up across the Gulf Coast. That makes it feel very oppressive and very muggy and just brutally hot and humid. And that'll be the case this week. Even going into the late week, that moisture really builds across the area. So even though those temperatures should be in the upper 80s and low 90s by Thursday and Friday, it's still going to feel like the triple digits with all that moisture hanging on. And all that moisture will provide also a better chance for a few storms to help cool us off. So that's the other good thing, I guess. Later this week, we'll have a higher chance for a few storms by Thursday, Friday, and even into next weekend. But really the main focus this week is the heat index and the impact it has on you, especially if you work outdoors, if you have to be outside for long periods of time, or maybe, you do any kind of exercise outside. I would try not to overexert yourself if you can. Try to do those long runs and walks with the dogs in the morning or in the evening. That's really the best time of the day this time of the year. Because when we get to these feels like temperatures up to maybe 108 to 112, which is possible every day this week, it's more likely we could be experiencing heat exhaustion and heat cramps. So if you start to feel overwhelmed and sick from the heat, I would definitely stop what you're doing if you can. Have, a sip of water, take a break in the shade, find some AC if you really can. But yeah, I definitely would recommend paying attention to yourself this week as we get into a brutal stretch of hot weather the next few days. Definitely want to pay attention to our health, and also the kids out there enjoying the last few days of summer break. Make sure they're keeping themselves cool and hydrated too. That's our main focus. Drink plenty of water, stay safe in the heat, take breaks in the shade or air conditioning, wear those light, loose-fitting clothes, use sunscreen, sun protection, a hat, sunglasses, things like that, and never leave anything valuable and important in your car before you step out of it and go to the grocery store, things like that. So you want to check your vehicle, check your car before you step outside. Make sure you don't leave anything important in the car. So that is really the main thing this week. The other good thing we have going on over the next week is that the tropics are nice and quiet. So the Atlantic Basin, nothing going on across the Atlantic Ocean. Nice and quiet. Lots of Saharan dust in the Atlantic Basin. That really helps to suppress tropical development. And also we're in that El Nino pattern that helps to increase that wind shear across the Atlantic Basin. And it shows not much to track in the Atlantic, so that's good. We'll stay quiet over the next week in the Atlantic. No tropical developments likely over the next week. But in the Eastern Pacific, different story. We have 2 hurricanes in the Eastern Pacific moving off to the west-northwest. We have Hurricane Fausto, which is still going to be moving through the Hawaiian Islands early in the work week ahead, but it will be weakening down to a tropical storm by that point, thankfully. So if you have any travel plans there, we have a tropical storm heading to the Hawaiian Islands early in the work week. Also, we have a hurricane off to the east, just off the west coast of Mexico. This is Hurricane Genevieve, a Category 1. This is also going to be moving out into the open Pacific Ocean in the coming days, but could strengthen to a Category 4, but that's just out in the middle of the Pacific. We obviously don't have to worry about these storms here along the Gulf Coast, but just wanted to give you an update on what's happening in the Eastern Pacific Ocean as we go into the peak of hurricane season, August and September. Fingers crossed we keep things nice and quiet on our side in the Atlantic. Time will tell, but hopefully we keep it nice and we keep it good. We keep it smooth sailing throughout the next 2 months. And of course, hurricane season ends on November 30th. So much more time to go with that. But here's your 7-day forecast. Our thing this week is that brutal deep south Gulf Coast heat every day. Lots of sunshine today and the next few days. Temperatures in the mid to upper 90s, feeling like the 100s, maybe up to 110 to 115 in the afternoons, early to mid-week. Low chances for rain the next few days, maybe 1 or 2 isolated showers. But then later in the week, we get closer to a typical summertime pattern with more scattered storms in the mix Thursday, Friday, and even into next weekend.